Let's talk about a major power play unfolding in the Caribbean. It's a story that involves thousands of long-range drones, a strategic alliance that's getting deeper by the day, and really the potential to completely shift the military balance right in America's backyard. Hey everyone, welcome to the Global Warwatch Network. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting clear, no-nonsense analysis on global defense, just take a second to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep making these explainers for you. So get this, Venezuela is reportedly about to get its hands on 2,000 Russian drones, and that's a number big enough to completely rewrite the balance of power in the Caribbean. So what does that actually mean on the ground? All right, first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this deal. This isn't just another routine arms transfer. This is what you'd call a strategic game changer. That number, 2,000. That is the figure at the very heart of this story. We're talking about 2,000 Grand 2 loitering munitions that Russia is apparently getting ready to send to Venezuela. To put that into perspective, that's not just a squadron. That is a massive, massive fleet of attack drones. And you've got to understand, this is a landmark deal for a few big reasons. For one, it's one of the largest drone transfers Moscow has ever done. For Venezuela, it dramatically boosts their ability to watch and to strike. It also signals that the bond between Russia and Venezuela is getting much, much tighter. And this doesn't seem to be a one-off. It looks like part of a much bigger plan for the region.
Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to talk about the hardware itself. What exactly is this Geron 2 drone, and what makes it so effective?
So when you look at the specs, yeah, this is no simple camera drone. It's a loitering munition, which is basically a fancy term for a one-way attack drone. It's packed with a pretty hefty 40 to 50 kilogram high explosive warhead. But the real jaw-dropper here? That range. We're talking up to 2,000 kilometers. That is an absolutely enormous distance. But here's the thing that makes the Grand 2 so dangerous. It's not that it's some super advanced high-tech weapon. Its real power is that it's simple. It's cheap to make, it's hard to spot on radar, it's relatively quiet, which means you can build a ton of them. And that allows for something called saturation attacks. Basically, you just overwhelm an enemy's defenses by sending more drones than they can possibly shoot down.
And this quote really just nails why a country like Venezuela would want these. For a nation that's been hit with heavy sanctions, with limited access to things like modern fighter jets, these drones are, and I quote, an affordable way to maintain credible defense and strike options. It's military bang for your buck.
So let's circle back to that incredible range. 2,000 kilometers. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but what does that actually look like when you put it on a map starting from Venezuela? Well, that range covers pretty much the entire Caribbean basin. We're talking about the power to watch critical shipping lanes and potentially threaten assets near Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, even large parts of Central America. This completely changes Venezuela's ability to project power in the region. Okay, now let's zoom out a bit, because this deal isn't just about Venezuela. You have to see this as a very calculated move in Russia's bigger global playbook. At the core of all of this is something called Moscow's global balancing strategy. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a deliberate push to expand Russia's military and diplomatic influence in places far, far away from its own borders, especially in areas where it can challenge Western influence and forge new alliances. So what does that plan look like in practice? Well, it's kind of a three-step move. Step 1, expand your defense footprint. Get a foothold near crucial U.S. sea lanes. Step 2, get cozier with your allies in the region, like Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And step 3, the big one, use this drone deal to create a coordinated drone network, the very first of its kind in Latin America. And you have to remember, this isn't happening in a vacuum. Venezuela is already a big customer for Russian military hardware. They've got advanced fighter jets, they've got sophisticated air defense systems. These drones, well, they represent the next chapter in that relationship, a shift towards unmanned systems and asymmetric warfare. Now, a move this big is obviously going to get a response, right? So what can we expect the United States and its partners in the region to do about all this? And this is where you really see the core of the conflict. What Venezuela sees as a smart way to boost its defenses on the cheap, the United States sees as a seriously destabilizing development. What Caracas calls deterrence, Washington calls an expansion of Russian influence and a direct challenge in its own backyard. Two sides looking at the same facts and coming to completely opposite conclusions. So, what's the likely playbook from Washington? Well, you can bet there will be a strong diplomatic reaction, for sure. But it won't stop there. Look for new U.S. security initiatives in Latin America. And this is almost certainly going to kick off some very urgent conversations among allies about how to coordinate their air defenses against this new kind of threat. And all of this really leads to a huge final question for all of us to think about. As these cheap but really powerful and long-range drones spread around the world, is this what we're looking at? Is this the new face of global conflict? Asymmetric, low cost, and incredibly difficult to defend against?
All right, that's what we have for this explainer. Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this breakdown useful, we'd really appreciate it if you take a second to hit like, share, and of course, subscribe to the Global Warwatch Network.
But the conversation doesn't stop here. We really want to know what you think about this. Is this a major threat, an overreaction? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and make sure to join our community on social media. All the links for that are right there in the description. Thanks again for watching.